Evening, everybody. So I thought what I'd do this evening is tell you a little bit of a context about what we're doing at L'Oréal and where our pension scheme is today, and then how the PQM comes in to help us with that. So just to sort of set the scene a bit, we employ 3,000 people in L'Oréal UK. 2,000 of those are beauty consultants who are store-based, working in ones and twos, sort of long-term store consultants working in Selfridges, Boots, things like that. About 200 field sales staff who have access to computers and networks but are not head office based. About 150 people who work on the shop floor in our distribution centres, and the remainder of the people are sort of head office based staff. So that sort of gives you a bit of a context in terms of the challenge on communications that we have. We take the physical and financial well-being of all our employees as a priority. And obviously with this demographic in mind, we find ourselves facing a challenge probably very typical amongst UK employers today, and that's how do we encourage our staff to think and plan for their retirement. We have a relatively young average age at L'Oréal of 35, and only 30% of our staff are in a pension scheme, and actually when you take that down to the beauty consultant level, that's as low as 13%. And so we're constantly looking for ways to try and encourage our staff to start planning for the future and think about how their retirement's going to pan out. So what we've done is, in a joint project between the company, the trustees and Buck Consultants, we've set out to understand the barriers that prevent our staff from joining the scheme and getting on with saving. So following a series of working groups and fact-finding missions, we've discovered some key factors which have subsequently driven our strategy for change. Surprisingly, the findings were very similar despite the extremities of the demographic that we're working with. So we ran working groups on the beauty consultants, senior managers, shop floor warehouse staff, and as well newly hired graduate trainees. So really a very diverse group. And interestingly, the following facts stood out. First of all, that they know that pensions are important, but they lack the confidence in understanding them. They want to be told what to do and want to be guided by the company. If they don't join when they start the company, they tend never to get around to doing it. They get stuck when considering investment options. And they need support, encouragement, and hand-on guidance from the company. So as a result of these studies, and especially with auto-enrolment encroaching, we set about updating our scheme to remove the perceived barriers to joining. So the principal changes involve removing a 6-month service requirement before being able to join, simplifying the investment options, and a total rebranding of the scheme booklets and forms to reduce them to the minimum number of pages, giving them a fresh look and feel, and using easy-to-understand language. The PQM mark appears on all of that material, as of today, actually fresh, hot off the press. So the new look sort of retirement plan, rather than pension, has been launched today, and there'll be a rolling plan between now and the company's auto-enrolment date in 2013 of presenting pensions to staff and trying to encourage them to take part. Another focus, which is absolutely key, is ensuring that all the HR staff, especially those involved in recruitment and integration, feel confident in explaining and promoting our scheme. We had a situation 2 years ago when we still had the 6-month enrolment date in, where people would be lucky to receive the literature 6 months into their job. And even if they received the literature, if they tried to ask somebody in the HR team or their manager how to go about it, they would just be turned around, and they would really have to struggle hard to find somebody who could explain pensions to them. So we had an awful lot of relatively simple barriers to overcome. So the pension quality mark fits nicely in with this overall strategy, and it provides both us and our employees with the reassurance that what we're doing is correct, best practice and professional. And I believe that as employees, and especially younger employees, are forced to get to grips with pensions over the coming years with auto-enrolment, I think something like an industry accreditation such as this is going to become more and more important for employees to be able to look and get a quick validation of the quality of the pension that's on offer from their company, without having to understand the ins and outs of it in great detail. So, we're obviously delighted to have been awarded the accreditation. It fits nicely with our strategy, and we really hope that it's going to help us encourage more and more people to join. So thank you very much.
Thank you.